The Wilma apartment complex had been marked for demolition for over a year, but due to city red tape and legal battles with the owner, it still stood, a decaying 12-story skeleton in downtown Detroit. Most tenants had already left. Only 6 apartments remained occupied, and none of them knew the nightmare buried beneath their feet. Ellie Hughes was one of the last to stay. A single mother of 3, she couldn't afford to move out yet. She worked nights as a hospital laundry tech, coming home just as the sun broke over the cracked brick towers. But inside was a narrow crawl space filled with dusty vinyl records, old tools, and a strange, ancient-looking book wrapped in barbed wire. The pages were thick like cured leather, and it stank of rot. "Put it back," Cassie whispered, instantly unsettled. But Danny, ever curious, took the book and the records upstairs. That night, while Ellie worked her shift, Danny played one of the records on his vintage turntable. A man's voice echoed, distorted by time. "We are speaking from 1923. The Kandarian texts have been uncovered beneath the ruins of a cathedral in Romania, bound in flesh, inked in blood. We have begun translation." The voice began chanting. Cassie screamed. Lights flickered. The windows shook. Danny yanked the needle off. Too late. A dark shape drifted through the window. Something formless, something cold. It moved silently, dripping down the hallway toward the open door to Ellie's bedroom. When she came home an hour later, she barely got 2 steps inside before something hit her. Hard. She collapsed, writhing on the floor, choking, eyes wide in silent terror. The next morning, Ellie was awake, cooking, smiling, humming. But it wasn't her. Her eyes were too bright, her grin too wide, her voice slightly off. She served the kids pancakes, but her hands shook. She muttered to herself when no one was speaking. And at one point, she looked straight at Cassie and said, "You should have stayed in the walls." Later, Cassie found her mother standing completely still in the bathroom, staring at her own reflection, whispering in a language that sounded like bones cracking underwater. By nightfall, the blood began. One by one, the other tenants were attacked. Some dragged into the elevator shaft, others mutilated in their bathtubs. The walls bled. The pipes screamed. Every time someone died, Ellie grew stronger, her voice deeper. Her skin cracked like dry. Her eyes sunken and glowing amber. Danny, riddled with guilt, confessed what he'd done to Bridget, his older sister. She slapped him, but then they both heard it. Ellie chanting in the kitchen. She had the book now. It spoke through her. Flesh shall bind. Blood shall open. Soul shall feed. They tried to run, but the apartment building had changed. The exits were sealed. The fire escape twisted into the walls. The elevator ran in loops. Every door they opened brought them back to their own apartment. And then Bridget began to change. It started with a scratch she got from their possessed mother. So small, they didn't notice. But soon her veins darkened. Her teeth bled. Her voice cracked into whispers. She attacked them. Cassie cried in the closet as her brother fought Bridget off with a broken broom handle, finally shoving her into the kitchen oven and locking the door. Her screams were inhuman. And yet, none of them are. They're stuck, and we're next. The book, still sitting on the coffee table, flipped open on its own. Blood oozed between the pages. It showed illustrations, new ones, of Danny, Cassie, Ellie, and a rising figure with 7 faces and a crown of teeth. It wasn't just one demon, it was a gate, a passage for something worse. In a last act of defiance, Danny rigged the power system to overload, planning to burn the apartment and the book with it. He told Cassie to get to the garage and wait in the maintenance truck. But Ellie found him first. Their battle was brutal. Blood-slick floors, shattered light bulbs, ancient words screamed across crumbling walls. Danny managed to set the fire, throwing the book into the blaze as the entire room ignited. Ellie shrieked, a sound that shattered windows 3 floors down. Smoke choked the sky as sirens wailed. Cassie waited in the garage, trembling, the screams muffled by concrete and flame. In the morning, the firefighters pulled her out. She was the only survivor. No bodies were found. No trace of the book. Only a half-burned vinyl record, still echoing in its warped groove. Klaatu Verata Nektu. Days passed. The apartment complex was sealed off, deemed a total loss. Fire damage. Gas leak. That's what the news said. But Cassie knew better. They never found Danny's body. Never found Ellie's. And despite the blaze, the strange vinyl record was untouched, still echoing softly in evidence storage, its chant looping endlessly, as if waiting. Somewhere, miles away, a college student in a dusty thrift store pulls a strange book from a locked crate labeled unsorted. The cover pulses once, faintly. He doesn't notice. He takes it home, and that night, as the first words are spoken again, the wind screams down a narrow hallway. Lights flicker in a distant town, and something ancient begins to stir. It's not over. It never was. Somewhere deep beneath the scorched ruins of the Wilmer apartments, where concrete meets earth and pipes still hiss with steam, something is breathing. It's slow, deliberate, and it's not human. In a faraway town, a girl wakes up screaming, clutching her arms, covered in bruises she didn't have when she went to sleep. Her mirror cracks without touch. The name Cassie is scrawled on her bedroom wall in something thick and dark. The book is out there again, and this time, it's not waiting to be read. It's hunting those who survived, and it's bringing others with it. Cassie sat alone in the foster home, staring at the wall. The other kids played, laughed, lived, but she knew. Something had followed her. That night, as the house slept, the lights in the hallway flickered. A low hum rose from the floorboards. Not mechanical, but alive. Her door creaked open on its own, and there, standing in the doorway, was Danny. Or what was left of him. His eyes were empty sockets, his mouth stitched shut, but his body twitched, moved, pulled by unseen strings. And in his trembling hands, he held the book, burned, broken, still alive. Cassie's scream was muffled by shadow as the door slammed shut behind her. Somewhere in the distance, the Necronomicon opened again, its pages turning on their own, blood dripping from the margins. This was just the beginning. Rain pounded the rooftop of the children's home as lightning cracked the sky. Inside, silence reigned, until a low growl echoed from the vents. The staff didn't hear it, but the children did. One by one, they woke, eyes wide, frozen, their voices stolen in sleep. A shadow crawled across the ceiling, circling like a predator. And in the basement, behind the old furnace, a hand pressed through the concrete wall, fingers broken, skin blistered, dragging something behind it. The book had found a new place to feed. And now, the dead don't just rise, they multiply.